An hour from here is the border at Ranbir Singh Pura. I wonder how many of you have actually been there. You see lush green fields, and then you have these fences. Farmers can work in the morning, at dusk, or really at night, because potentially they will be fired upon by Pakistani rangers. A little away from that, within Ranbir Singh Pura, is one of the most spectacular sites in Jammu, the Gharana wetlands. Again, I wonder how many of the students of JK Public School have visited the Gharana wetland. There are, during the winter, there is a migration of some of the most magnificent birds known to humanity, especially the bare-headed geese. They travel from all over Central Asia, including Tibet and Mongolia, and migrate here, as well as go up till Mount Everest, traveling mostly at night. One border limits and protects the other. Gharana wetlands and the geese demonstrate how through ancient algorithms they are able to transcend all boundaries. This is 20th century technology. That's ancient algorithms practiced and perfected over centuries. Today, I would like to believe is India's moment. India's moment to demonstrate how ancient wisdom and modern technology can help us transcend boundaries. History has always had boundaries and walls. Walls have been created to protect. Walls have often suffocated. You had the Great Wall of China to prevent the Mongols from invading, to prevent the Chinese Empire from collapsing. It did that for a while, but sooner, because of the contradictions within China, the wall stopped serving its purpose. Today, it's a tourist attraction. In 1989, I was there when the Berlin Wall collapsed. It had been created to stop East Berliners from going into the West, but it collapsed once communism died as an ideology, as an idea. And that moment, there was a moment of profound openness. The greatest idea of our time, of the 20th century, was born not at any time other than after the collapse of the Berlin Wall. The idea that you could have a free openness of a new kind, that there would be almost a vision of a boundaryless world where you would have a free exchange of ideas, goods, trade, services, and visas would sooner or later perhaps become redundant. That was the story of Berlin and the openness and the globalization that followed. Today, we witness a different story. We witness a story of fortresses. Visas are being delayed. Skilled workers are no longer encouraged. Tariffs are increased. America is becoming a fortress, but it's not the only fortress. Europe is anxious, deeply anxious about migration. China is setting up digital firewalls to protect itself. The idea of openness seems to be collapsing. And yet, there are examples from various parts of the world where countries, small countries, have created safe and secure systems which prevent borders from being misused and yet help talent and ideas move across frontiers. Take three small examples that I will give you. One is an example of a country which we all know. When you go to Changi Airport, immigration, biometric immigration takes you 30 seconds. That is the standard time, 30 seconds, to allow the right visitors to come in and to stop the traffickers and criminals from moving into Singapore. Singapore, Changi Airport is a model of what you can do to ensure safety and yet allow freedom. A country which experienced the greatest genocide of the 20th century, Rwanda, which lost almost 1 million people in the genocide in the 90s, today is described as the Singapore of Africa because it allows every country in the world a visa on arrival. Kigali, the capital of Rwanda, resembles Singapore, efficient, clean, beautiful and green. It is described as Africa's Singapore. Take another example, one from Asia, one from Africa, and take another example from Europe, Estonia, 1.5 million people. Under the Soviet Union, during all the years of the Cold War, no one knew about Tallinn and Estonia. Today, they have created a digital platform by which you can set up companies and residencies in Estonia without actually stepping into Estonia. There are 100,000 companies which have been set up in Estonia and 100,000 and more people who got e-residences, perhaps not even knowing where Estonia is. Imaginative, new, creative ways in which you can think beyond boundaries and yet not beyond security. What does the world need today? The world needs security. Security from terrorism, from cybercrime. The world needs ideas. Ideas to prevent climate change, epidemics of the kind that we have experienced today. And it requires innovation. Innovation to deal with multiple crises that face the world's economy, parts of the global commons. Why do I think that it could well be India's moment? Given these examples, given the crisis, why do I think that it's India's moment? Because India has four outstanding features which no other country on the planet has. First, India's diversity. No other country in the world as diverse as India, with its multiple faiths, its multiple languages, with the largest population, or soon to be the largest population in the world, living in a democracy. There is no other example. Simultaneously, the ability to create digital infrastructure at scale. Today, the India stack and the UPI carries out 12 billion transactions every month, more than MasterCard and Visa do in a year. Aadhaar works with 99.9% accuracy with 1.9 billion ID numbers. Covaxin vaccinated 2.2 billion users, and there are no known large or major contraindications. That's the kind of scale that the India stack infrastructure can create. Third is the diaspora. No other country, except China perhaps, has a 35 million strong diaspora of professionals spread across the world. This soft power is India's great strength if utilized meaningfully. And finally, we have the power of ideas. We have shaped ideas. My friend Manjul Bhargava, who won the field medal in mathematics, which is equivalent to the Nobel Prize elsewhere, says that the number theory, the whole idea of the zero, went from India to the Arabs to Europe. and he today has got some of the NCRT books changed to really get this genealogy right, that ancient wisdom of number theory in mathematics, of Ayurveda and yoga are unparalleled in anywhere in the world. We offer this to the world. And what should we do then to convert this? To convert this into action. For first of all, I think the most important thing here is really that we need to believe in ourselves. We need to have openness to be able to create the kind of knowledge hubs and infrastructure that will attract the world's talent. Let India become the new Boston, like Jammu and Kashmir become the new knowledge hub of the world. When Boston and Columbia and the Ivy Leagues are shrinking, let us occupy this vacuum and this space. Simultaneously, build at scale, but more seamlessly, digital infrastructure in all sectors, whether it's health, whether it's in terms of education, whether it is in terms of payments, but across the board in the vital sectors that we need. Do that. Then third, lead with ideas. Lead with the ideas which are not nativist, but which we have explored, whether it is in terms of the world being a family, but more than that, there are a huge number of ideas that we can bring to the table, including of democracy, of the scale of democracy, and the way in which we can manage complexity of the kind that we have today. India, I believe, has a rare opportunity. An opportunity like this comes only once in a millennia. Can we make use of this opportunity? Can we, as the last speaker said, move from the fragmentation of narrow domestic walls, as Tagore had talked about, where the mind, in his great poem in the Gitanjali, where the mind is without fear? Tagore was not speaking about a boundaryless, borderless India. He was talking about a border India with smart, wise boundaries and borders. We can create that smart border for not just ourselves, but for the global imagination, which should keep away the nasties, which will keep away, which will ensure security for us, and yet open us to the world in a manner that we become the knowledge hub for the world. This is the time to do it, and we need the leadership of people across the board, across India, to be able to achieve this in the next 20 years. And this, if for you young people and for the leadership, including Omar Abdullah Saab, is a huge challenge. Can you imagine Jammu and Srinagar becoming great innovation hubs to be able to create the knowledge infrastructure which works seamlessly, and to be able to have the resilience and the openness to attract outside talent beyond parochial lines? Get the best from anywhere in the world. Let India become the new land of opportunity. Let India become the new dream. Jai Hind. Thank you.